What is happening, everyone? NoZoupForYou here, and you are watching some Republic action on Tears of the Desert Epicenter. I know, this is everybody's absolute favorite map and game mode combination, right? Yeah, right. Anyhow, this is a ship I haven't played in a very long time, and I haven't played it that often. Really, the most I played Republic was back during when we tested this ship, and while I thought it was a decent ship back then, I never really got into it. And it's kind of funny how you get stuck on certain ships. We all have our favorite battleships and everything else. You know, we all go through slumps and we go through periods where we're not playing that great, and sometimes you just need to switch things up, and wow, look at that right there, 20,000 shaved off that turpits, and I'm kind of skating the side of the circle right now, the ring. I see this turpits right here, this tirpitz, pardon me, and I've decided I'm going to single it out. I know it's away from the action, but it's very much buffalo that's been separated from the rest of the herd. I smell blood in the water, so I figure, you know, why not take it out right now? You might as well, right? I am a little worried about that Chung Mu over in the center, which is why I kind of peeled off and out away from the circle. I figured he'd be firing torps at me at some point, so I'm going to focus on this tirpitz. But like I was saying, you know, you get in a rut, you don't do that well, you're not performing the way you would like, you're not doing the damage you would like, and whenever that happens, I decide to mix things up, and there's another 23,000 K right off that tirpitz. I just have made him my little biatch. But I decided to play the Republic. It had been a while, and I don't think as many people play the Republic as other battleships at Tier 10, but those that do, those that play in this ship absolutely love it. They swear by it. They love it more than the Yamato. They love it more than the Montana. They are diehard fans of this ship. So I figured I might as well switch things up. And it really worked out to my benefit. Actually, this is not the round I was going to show you all. I was going to show you a round that I had in it where I did over 200,000 damage, and that was the first 200 damage round I had had in a very long time. I had been in a rut. And while I did a lot of damage this round, I didn't crack 200,000, and the odd thing is, the very round after this one, I cracked 200,000 damage again. So obviously that tells me that the Republic and myself are just an absolute fit with each other, and it's obvious why. I love the Alsace, and the ship very much plays like the Alsace. And at this point, there's really nothing else in the outer territories of this map. So I'm just going to charge right into the Thunderdome. It's time to get busy. It's time to take on these other ships. We've got the lead right now. We're doing pretty comfortable. So I'm going to take some pot shots at this Kurfürst over here at range and just head towards the middle and try and support my team. So I start playing the Republic, and in the rounds that I've played in it, I have done far better than my other battleships. And I think part of that is you play a ship too long, you start kind of getting in a just going through the motions type of thing where you do all the things you normally do, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. You get comfortable with the ship. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You get comfortable, and sometimes that's not really conducive for good gameplay. Whereas when you get a fresh ship, you're a little more daring in it. You're trying to figure things out, and I think it allows you to view things a little fresher. And you can see my little origin pop up in the bottom right-hand corner. Hi, Sergeant Danger Cal. He's a good guy. He's a community contributor for, well, I guess they call them game changers over at Electronic Arts within Battlefield. So really need to learn to shut Origin down. It kind of annoys me when that thing pops up, but it is what it is. Check him out on Twitter, by the way. Great guy. Absolutely great guy. But yeah, I think playing a ship, a new ship every now and then, gives you kind of a fresh perspective on things, and I really think there's something psychological too, where you jump in it, and right off the bat you can play better on it. But the Republic's just one of those ships where, you know, usually you might have 1 or 2 good rounds in it, and things kind of come back down to earth and you start playing normal again, but I've just been playing really, really well in the Republic overall. and slowly it is becoming my go-to tier 10 battleship. Like I said, it's similar to the Alsace, and honestly, I took my Alsace 19-point captain and I removed him from the Alsace and put him on the Republic. I hated to do it. I really don't like doing that, but the problem with the Alsace is it's getting a pretty hefty nerf coming up with the introduction of the Jean Bart, and I'm not pleased about that. I'm not happy about that whatsoever, so I figured, why not just take that captain and throw him on this ship? And I play tier 10 more than tier 9 anyways. I did love the Alsace. I had an absolute blast playing in her, but I've decided to move on, and I think my go-to French battleship is now going to be the Republic, as I am doing pretty well in it. So at this point, I'm moving into the Thunderdome. I am moving into the center, and I'm going to do what I can to support my team right now. Again, we've got a pretty big lead right now. While it's not phenomenal, we're sitting pretty. Things are going to start changing, though. Des Moines has set me on fire, and, you know, wandering into the area I have might not have been a good idea. It really might not have. So I'm going to try and avoid this Des Moines while putting as much damage as I can on these three ships right here. Iowa is firing at me. He stopped. But the thing about that is, Republic is very similar to the Yamato. You just can't stop and start backing up because you can't really battle tank against a Republic. And right there, no Citadel, but I still shaved 12,000 hit points off of Mr. Iowa right here. Just pegged him through the nose. And that's just the beautiful thing about the Republic. Its guns are big and they reload very, very fast for some very, very high DPM. Took a little hit to that Republic right there, not angled as much as I'd want, but traded some shots and landed another 20k on him right there. And again, like I said, the guns on this ship are just absolutely phenomenal. I love them. Maybe not as hard hitting as the Yamato, but I feel I can hit more often with these guns. This ship definitely has guns going for it. And the accuracy is pretty decent, though every now and then they do go a little wonky, and I'll aim where I think I'm aiming, and it won't hit what I think I'm aiming at, which kind of sucks. So just something to know about the Republic if you decide to play it. It can be a little wonky. The dispersion can let you down sometimes, but when it hits, when you hit what you're aiming for, wow, it absolutely hurts, like right there on that Des Moines. Couldn't quite finish him off, but he's going to start running right now because he's in pain. And one thing I didn't notice while I'm sitting here in the Thunderdome, all of a sudden, we have a ship disadvantage. Our destroyers just up and decided to get themselves slaughtered, unfortunately. So while we still have a point lead, this game is really starting to shift in the dynamics. And again, I'm kind of at the, not necessarily the forefront here, but I've definitely got a lot of ships in front of me right now, so I'm going to try and do as much damage as I can. I also know that there's two destroyers lurking around, and I don't want to get caught by these torps. So I'm going to move to this island in front of me. I'm going to take a little refuge behind that. Obviously, it's not really going to protect me from any of these ships, but it's going to protect me from the torpedoes, and that's what I want to do right now. My goal at this point is to stay alive as long as possible and do as much damage as possible, like that right there against Mr. Iowa, who's broadside. And again, you cannot go broadside to the Republic. You just cannot. Its guns will tear you apart. So I'm going to attempt to finish this Iowa off right now and make there be one less ship. At this point, done pretty good damage, up to 160,000 right now. But again, the ship discrepancy is starting to not look good. We are holding the caps, and I'm trying to keep these ships from going in. And there's those torpedoes that I told you would likely be coming. There's those torpedoes, and there's a reason I slowed down. There's a reason I got behind that island right there. It would not have been wise for me to barrel on forward. Yes, I could have probably gained ground on some of these ships out there, but there was no benefit to that. And I'm going to aim at this Des Moines right now. He is low health. Having him gone will help our team just a little bit. like that. Goodbye. The problem now is that I really don't have a good shot at the Republic and the Iowa. I've drifted a little too close to this island in my desire to seek protection, so I really can't get over it, but boom, Gearing shows up right there, so I'm going to try and take some shots at him, try and diminish his hit points while getting my secondaries, my glorious, glorious Republic secondaries on him. Now, I don't have my secondaries maxed out. I don't, but there's still 10-kilometer secondaries. On my modules, I've opted for the plotting room. I want to be able to aim just a little better and decrease that dispersion, which I told you can kind of be wonky at times. So I'm going to try and take out this Gearing right here. My secondaries are popping away. My team's firing at them, and I've kind of pushed myself out into a situation where I just got to push forward now. Still quite a few ships lurking out there, but we've evened things up again. Mr. Iowa's out here, and I'm going to try and take him out. I'm going to shift my aim on him. He's aimed a little bit, and he got lucky right there. Secondaries popping off. The biggest threats right now are not that Gearing over there. He's got a Minotaur to deal with. It's not this Iowa. It's these two ships right here, Edinburgh and Hindenburg. And this is where my game starts to fall apart. This is where I make a couple key mistakes that I'm gonna kind of present to you so you understand. My first mistake is, obviously, I want to take this Edinburgh out first. I know I'm in his torpedo range, and he's just not going broadside to me. What I should have done right here, instead of firing all my guns, I should have fired one set of guns, which might have compelled him to go broadside, and then fire my second right here. If I had done that, I might have been able to take him out, but as it is, I did not. So that was kind of a blunder on my part. The second blunder I made is, I know his torps are inbound. At this moment, I had time to still turn in away from that big island, but I decided to shoot through those two islands on the outer rings, which I should not have done. And that leads me into the incoming torpedoes. A big whiff on the Edinburgh right there, just some bad aim on my part, and instead of taking him out like I should have, and there being one less ship, I didn't do that. Here come the torps incoming. I know they're not going to hurt that badly, but still, if I turn in from them now, I'm going to beach myself, which wouldn't be good, so I opt to eat them. There's a reason I didn't burn my repair even with 2 fires. I was worried that I was going to be sinking, you know, flooding, not sinking, which I wouldn't, and I just can't take out this Edinburgh either. This was just an unfortunate series of events, and so at this point, not much I can do. I've got very little health left. I'm being focused by two different ships, so I'm just going to use the rest of my hit points to try and take out this Hindenburg. On fire again. There's a high caliber. I'm really only going to get a couple more salvos off against them, because this HE is going to destroy me right here. My last salvo's inbound, and with that last dying breath, I get a Confederate right there. Wind up with 192,000 damage. Not bad at all. However, right now, 3 ships to 3 ships, it looks like this game is in the bag right now. It really looks like it's in the bag. 700 to 300, but I'm going to let this play out because this is really not in the bag whatsoever. This wound up actually becoming very close, because as you see right there, we just lost our Minotaur to a Gearing torpedo. What we have left right now is a Roma, which is definitely not a match for a Kurfürst, even with even hit points right now. So our Gearing is just going to continue to pound away at this Kurfürst, which scares the living daylights out of me, because he is hanging on by a sliver of health. Just a sliver of health. If that Kurfürst decides to turn on him and fire, he's going to take him out. And then it's game over for this Roma, because the Roma's armor is just too squishy. So really, this has become a very desperate situation for our team. We are not in good shape 3 against 2. Even though we have been right now, is the Roma needs to stay alive as long as possible, and the Gearing needs to run and hide. The longer the Roma stays alive in this cap, the better off we are. So I would hope that right now he would start pushing around that cap to hide from the Kurfürst. But it looks like he's stopped, and he's going to try and fire at the Kurfürst as the Kurfürst comes around the corner. That's risky, because that's exactly what happened right there. It just wasn't a good move. I'm not going to fault him, though. He lasted this long in this round in a tier 8, so I got to give him props for that. I can't fault his gameplay. And there's 2 Krakens in this round, which was just pointed out in chat. Crazy. Just an insane round. A lot of crazy stuff happening. We've got the lead now. There's 2 minutes left, and we're just telling this Gearing, you have got to get out of here. You got to run. You got to hide. Because we've got enough points that if he does, we're going to win this round. We're going to win it. So he's starting to run right now. Kurfürst is left to go ahead and cap. These torpedoes are not going to hit the Kurfürst. They glide safely by him, and this Kurfürst now is going after our Gearing because he knows he's got to kill him. He's got to sink him if we want a chance to win. And again, Mr. Gearing stops right here, and I'm just thinking, what are you doing? Don't do it. Just run. Get to A10. Get out of there as soon as you can. If you do that, we win. That's eventually what he's going to do. So there's a minute left. But to get back to the overall point before time runs out in this round, I am absolutely loving the Republic right now. If you have not given it a chance, give it a chance. That combination of tankiness, great guns, and the speed boost you get that you can use to avoid incoming shots is just a great combination. I find myself firing a shot at a ship that just appears, and when they fire back, if you pop on your speed boost and you're over 15 kilometers away, you're going to gracefully sail past their shots. Yeah, this was a nail biter. You can see the chat. Nail biter. But yeah, this was a great game. Like I said, I hate Epicenter, but this is one of the rare rounds in which I really enjoyed playing Epicenter on Tears of the Desert. This round just really lived up to everyone's expectations, and it's one of those few rounds where there's no saltiness on either side. All the players were cordial. At the end of this match, it was just, that was a really, really good game. For the most part, I played pretty well. I'd say the amount of damage I did and the contribution I did was pretty good. Couple errors on my part in the very end. Really wish I had played a little smarter against that Edinburgh and that Hindenburg. Had I done that, I might have stayed in and this game could be over. But it's over now, and we take the victory. Epicenter, Tears of the Desert. There you go, some Republic gameplay. Good round, and I'm going to click extremely satisfied because I was on this round. Really extremely satisfied. Just a great round. One that I hope all of you all can replicate if you wind up with this map. But again, give the Republic a try if you haven't given it a try. Absolute blast to play. I'm out. Take it easy.